Ciao, you beautiful people. Okay, I'm not sure why I said that, but it doesn't matter. I don't speak Italian. Anyway, my friend the other day asked me who had been back from the dead and why. And I have a couple of people. The first one is Alexander the Great. He was an emperor of Macedonia as well as Greece. He took over quite a bit of land back in his day. He was awesome, except when it came to fighting elephants, because he did not win against elephants. The reason why I want to bring it back is because I just want to know everything he did, and in terms of how he did it, it's just super inspiring, you know, the fact that he was able to, at like, I don't know, his early 20s, mid 20s, I think, he was able to take over entire countries. Blows my mind. He was able to take over entire continents. It's just mind-blowing, honestly. And I would just love to be able to find out how he was able to do that. Not just because I want to, because I don't want to, but just because it's an incredible feat. Anyway, that's why I want to bring back Alexander the Great from the dead. Number 2 is going to be Michael Jackson, the king of pop. And I know that's controversial to some people, but you're out of your minds, honestly. Anyway, I love Michael Jackson. I love all his music. When he passed, I got this massive CD case of just all of his entire songs from when he was a kid in the Jackson 5 to until he died. And it was just awesome to listen to all of it. It was really, really, I don't know, like emotionally meaningful for some reason, just because I connected with it, and it just sounds so good. I would love to get the chance to go see him in concert, but also just meet him and talk about his life and what it was like to be Michael Jackson and experience that. I loved all of his music. I even saw a documentary on the Lifetime channel when I was a kid that was about his family growing up on the Jackson 5. I think it was called the Jackson 5, The American Story. But it was just really, really inspiring and just connected with me as a kid because it was just great to watch. But that is why I would love to talk to Michael Jackson if he were back from the dead. Number 3, Wolfgang Amadeus Mozart. I love, as well, if you can't tell, I love something about all of these people. I love their music. I love Mozart's music specifically because I love classical music. I compose it myself. I'm not anything near Mozart's level. His life was really interesting. I mean, he was one of the most famous composers of the time, but he had almost no money. How does that even happen when back then being a composer, being a musician was one of the greatest things you could be in terms of earning money, especially when you lived in Vienna? He had no money. How did that even happen? Well, from what I know, he spent it a lot on gambling, on mistresses as well. I mean, he had a wife, he had kids. I think he had a kid actually. I would love to know how he did what he did. I mean, he was incredible genius. What was he thinking when he came up with his music? How did he get it? I know we have a bit of information on that if you've seen the movie Amadeus, but getting a first-hand opinion from Mozart himself would be the most important thing in this instance if you want to know how he did what he did. Of course, I would want to know that as a composer, but also just as someone who admires music. One thing I really want to ask Mozart, though, in particular, is why? Why, Mozart? Why did you end up in an unmarked grave? Well, back then, people would actually mass-produce these graves. No one should have to end up in an unmarked grave, but, I mean, your life was pretty insane back then. You were definitely like a playboy, so that might be one reason, of course, but still, the question of why did you end up that way? You had so much money, you had so much talent, so much potential. What went wrong? What happened? What was going through your mind? What mattered to you? All of that is stuff that I would love to know and to find out. So that's it for Mozart. Number 4, Queen Elizabeth I. She was the Queen of England and Ireland back in the 1500s, and she was known as the Virgin Queen because she apparently had never had sexual intercourse. But she was also known as the person who brought about the golden age for England and the UK at that time. And she was incredible in terms of what she was able to do. She was locked up in like a dungeon for like, I don't know, 10 years of her life or so. And she had to deal with Queen Mary, her sister, who was quite despicable apparently to her. But even more so, she had to deal with her father, King Henry, who had some fascination with cutting off people's heads, specifically his wives, and of course the mother of his children, one of which was Queen Elizabeth I. But she ended up doing some of the most incredible reformations for England, and she brought about the greatest period in about 1,000 years for England since the Middle Ages. She was a strategic genius that also brought reforms economically to England that, I mean, really helped the people there and made their life so much better than what her father had done, which was absolutely nothing but chop his wives' heads off. So, like I said, I would love to meet Queen Elizabeth if I could bring her back to life and really try and get the most out of what could make me such a great person just like she was at that time. So that's it, guys. I hope you like my little rant about each of those people. I think they're all incredible people. I hope you know about them or do a little research if you want about them or not. But let me know what you guys think, and also let me know who you'd be interested in talking to if you could bring them back from the dead. Check me out on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, wherever you can find me. And I hope to hear from you.